Esperanza Housed and Happy program was developed for the Other Ones Foundation, or TOOF as it is known in Austin, which provides humanitarian aid, case management, and extremely low barrier employment opportunities to people experiencing homelessness. TOOF has experienced dramatic growth since its inception in 2017. In 2020, TOOF began to manage an encampment called Esperanza, where unhoused individuals were living in tents with no running water or bathrooms. In less than 3 years, funds were raised. There are no tents, 60 permanent individual lockable units with electricity, along with bathhouses, exist. Partners come on site to prepare and serve meals daily and provide laundry service 3 times weekly. A mobile food pantry and mobile library come weekly, as does a medical clinic. Built out of the master plan with community center and shelter for 200 people will be completed within 2 years. The state of Texas has recently indicated a commitment to buy land next door to allow for expansion and serve an additional 200. Whereas many residents have lived at Esperanza for more than 2 years, TOOF is adapting their model to focus on helping people settle into permanent housing within 6 months. The greatest need at Esperanza right now is preparing residents to successfully transition to permanent housing. Nationally, 21% of people who receive permanent housing return to a shelter or the street within 24 months. In Austin, that number is 18%. The Esperanza Housed and Happy program was designed to acknowledge the trauma of homelessness while providing residents what they need to thrive after their time at the shelter. A staff and resident questionnaire and subsequent analysis of the qualitative and quantitative data indicate the following intervention that represents a resident's time at the shelter. Upon arrival, they're welcomed into the community, and protocols and expectations are set, including encouragement to welcome new members and practice social connecting. Next, Tools for Living begins immediately with weekly classes that focus on life skills, cleaning, creating home, laundry, creating a food menu, grocery shopping, transportation, accessing food supplies, healthcare, and mental health resources. Next, socio-emotional skills are supported with group activities that teach and reinforce the ability to be self-aware, manage anxiety, resolve conflict, learn personal strengths and weaknesses, and connect with others. To develop and reinforce these skills, 2 series of classes will be offered: Quieting the Mind and How to Get Along with Others. Yoga, drum circles, song circles, walking groups, and other favorite activities which were indicated on the initial questionnaire will be offered, and throughout these activities, emphasis is placed on how to do these things after residents leave the shelter. Alumni groups will be active. Former residents will be encouraged to return to the shelter for monthly reunions, and select former residents will volunteer as part of group meetings to prepare residents for permanent housing. Topics of these group meetings will include: what kind of life do you want to live after Esperanza? What help do you need to do that? Who can you ask for help? Finally, housing stabilization specialists will step in right at the time that people transition to permanent housing and work individually with residents who are placed for 90 days. A literature review provided a comparison of programs with similar objectives of successful placement in permanent housing, with evaluation methodologies that were either qualitative or mixed method. With this in mind, the objective of the evaluation is to determine whether the programming is contributing to successful independent living. Research questions include the following: do 2 former residents remain housed after 24 months at a lower percentage, at a higher percentage, I should say, than the city of Austin's average of 18%? What are the contributing factors to successful long-term independent living? What services were accessed during the 24-month period? How much difference is the housing stabilization specialist making in the transition? What are they doing? specifically that is making the biggest difference. As far as methodology, the evaluation will take place over 24 months. The first part of the evaluation has been completed. A mixed method qualitative questionnaire was administered to 26 residents at Esperanza to inform the ongoing classes and activities at the shelter. Participation was by invitation and optional. Favorite activities were quantified and ranked in order. The top 5 were music, physical activity, reading, building, making things, and gardening. Also quantified was the number of responses that indicate interest in anxiety reducing classes and practices. 18 said yes, 7 said no, and 1 said maybe. Qualitative information was categorized according to themes of social connection and concerns about living independently, with sub-themes of income, food transportation, ability to reconnect with Esperanza community residents. Going forward, the recently hired 3 housing stabilization specialists will administer a qualitative interview questionnaire when they visit residents who have been placed. After 90 days, a social work intern will contact residents at 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and 24 months to administer the post-housing stabilization specialist support questionnaire. Findings of this program evaluation will be updated on October 1st, 2023 to reflect the clients being served within the first 90 days of their housing stabilization support specialist. Subsequent program evaluation updates will be made at the 6-month, 12-month, 18-month, and 24-month mark. Evaluation details of each resident will be added to Apricot software. After 24 months, we will know what percentage of residents are still housed after their securement of housing. With regard to strengths and challenges and cost, all Esperanza residents are required to work with case managers and they have one-on-one relationships. This is a strength in terms of resident participation. Going forward, questionnaires can be administered as part of intake. A strength of the sample is that it is local and applicable to local efforts to house the homeless. As people continue to speculate and wonder what works and doesn't work, this provides a targeted measure of the effectiveness of a local response. Weakness of this evaluation is that the sample size is not generalizable to the larger population. There tends to be a turnover in homeless services in the span of an evaluation over 24 months may present issues of continuity. There should be minimal cost, as the questionnaires can be implemented as part of existing case management. However, it would require ongoing social work interns or at least a part-time person to analyze the data and enter it into Apricot. The City of Austin has funded TOOF since 2018. In February 2023, Travis County committed $3 million, and the state of Texas is looking to fund expansion of Esperanza. Program evaluation data is very important to policymakers and funders. Providers of homeless services continue to grapple with how to design effective programs for its clients when the root causes of the problem are so varied and the needs are so individualized. Although the initial questionnaire was implemented with a small sample of 26 participants, this community will continue to grow, placing 10 to 15 people per month in permanent housing. An ongoing evaluation, as outlined in the paper, can take place for years to come and provide evolving guidance on best practices that help formerly unhoused individuals thrive when placed in permanent housing.